Russia's State Duma has erupted in a wave of unprecedented escalation after Moscow accused Ukraine of attempting to strike President Vladimir Putin's residence with a large-scale drone attack. What Russian officials describe as a failed operation has now been elevated into an alleged assassination attempt, triggering calls to fundamentally change the legal and military framework of the war.
I want to reiterate my principled position. The special military operation should be given the status of a counterterrorism operation. This implies the elimination of terrorist leaders. There's nothing to talk to them about. Otherwise, it is impossible to achieve the goals of the special military operation and to establish a lasting peace in Ukraine.
Calls for escalation intensified as senior lawmakers framed the alleged drone strike as an act of terrorism requiring uncompromising retaliation. Not statements, not warnings, but direct action.
The terrorist attack on the state residence of our president, in my opinion, requires absolutely adequate response measures. We need to make it clear to the criminal Kiev regime that it must answer for its crimes. I think we need to completely destroy all official and unofficial locations of the President of Ukraine and his entire criminal entourage.
The alleged attack is being portrayed not as a battlefield episode, but as a strike at Russia's very existence. A moment lawmakers say erases any remaining red lines.
They tried to strike at our heart, and there can be no forgiveness for this. We said this was a special military operation, that they were brothers, that we are one people. But after what they have done, there can be no forgiveness. So let them get out and run.
The language hardened further as lawmakers argued that Ukraine's president has forfeited all legitimacy and must no longer be treated as a lawful political actor.
The attack on the residence of the President of the Russian Federation is not just a crime against Russia as an act of terrorism. It is a crime against peace and the security of mankind. Zelensky, by the order he gave, put himself beyond all norms of international law and outside the perimeter of those entities with which it is possible to conduct any dialogue.
Russia's Communist Party leader echoed the same logic, insisting history itself proves negotiations are futile once terrorism is declared.
When it comes to an attack on the residence of the head of state, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief, there's no need to tempt fate. Our well-being depends on the system of governance in the country. The most important thing everyone should remember is this: no one has ever negotiated with terrorists in history.
Several lawmakers directly linked the alleged attack to diplomacy, accusing Kyiv of deliberately trying to derail Russia-US negotiations out of fear of a settlement.
The puppet regime in Kyiv starts pulling stunts when a stable negotiation structure is emerging. No emotions and no madness from the Zelensky regime and its few supporters in Western Europe will hinder the progress of negotiations between Russia and the United States.
Despite the avalanche of threats and accusations, the Kremlin has not yet formally reclassified the war. But the message from Russia's parliament is unmistakable. If this framing becomes policy, the conflict will no longer be about territory or talks. It will be about leadership, legitimacy, and survival.